And welcome back to part 15 of Bloodborne. This time we're going to work our way through the Nightmare of Mensis and deal with Micolash, the most boring boss in the game. Which is saying a lot because the Witches of Hemwick were pretty boring. But anyway, this area, when you're out in the open, if the Murgo's loft is in view, that's pretty much a death wish, because you will build frenzy, as you can see on the top of the screen. So your first priority is to go left and head towards the spider room, which is coming up here. The fact that the door's open and I didn't have to open it tells you that I already died. This is the spider room. The way I deal with it is walk so I don't alert any of them, and come up the side here. There'll be one lone spider up here, deal with it, and then just make a mad dash for the exit. Because there might be one or two spiders that will give chase, but the giant one hopefully won't notice you and give chase. And this part's going to be interesting, and not because of the actual part, but because it's ridiculously hot outside. And this is the UK, so we don't have aircon. And yeah, all the spiders have come down. So we don't have aircon in the UK. So I've just got to open every window and pray I don't die of the heat. I think it's like borderline 30 degrees Celsius, and yeah, I died to this guy up here, this hunter. Which I have no idea how hot that is in Fahrenheit, but yeah, it's really hot. And that's the reason why I died to this guy, because he's got Rosmarius. And that thing just drains your health very quickly. You've also got the Tony Blade, but if you've been using it as much as I have during the course of the game, you've learnt it better than I have, and you shouldn't have too hard of a time. Just look out for the Rosmarius. Up here's a shortcut you can open, which I hope I go and open, because otherwise... Oh yeah, there's also a dark, so you might want to use a lantern. I use the hand lantern a lot on this run when I usually don't, just because I know the recording can make areas darker, so I thought, well, the hand lantern should hopefully circumvent some of it, but I don't know how much it actually has. It's also a treasure chest here, so might as well. A few yellow backbones if you're interested in chalices. You don't have to kill these guys, and they hardly drop any blood echoes to really warrant killing them, but I just sort of do it for sport. I'm a nice guy, really. Yeah, but here's the lift. I think I actually ride it down, because there is a lantern down here. Because this lantern's actually very close to the one we start at, but yeah, this one is connected to all the shortcuts, so I ring this one just in case I die. Which I don't think I do, but it's better to be safe than sorry. I don't know what these enemies are called, like they're like Murgo's something or other, like there's like babysitters probably, but they're essentially like servants of Murgo, these guys. And there's bigger ones as well. And the bigger ones are the only real threat, because these guys, most of them, yeah, look, you see, they move at a snail's pace towards you. You don't have to worry about them. It's the big ones you have to worry about, because they can actually slay you. They have a decent chunk of health for something so pathetic, though. And the thing is, like, this part, like, there isn't much really, because after this room we go up a lift, there's a balcony bit, and then we're at Micolash. But these enemies, they're new and all, and they can build up fast poison, but they're nothing you can't handle. Hell, you can run at the level you'll be at this point, you could easily just run past all of them if you wanted to. There's nothing stopping you. Micolash is a joke. You'd have no threat from Micolash. There's only two major threats in the main game, and one of them's optional. Hell, both of them are optional if you don't mind getting the bad ending. Because next part, I am going to go out of my way to get the blood rock, and yeah, that's a fucking nightmare. And the other thing that's a major challenge is the final boss, but you don't have to fight the final boss. You can just accept the bad ending and just not fight him. So if you just want to finish the game and don't really care about endings, you've already gone through the hardest stuff. traps, and you can just run past these guys. And I'm just gonna get fucked by this thing. Oh no, I was in a funny mood when I was recording this, so I think I was just messing about. And this is going to be a pointless backstab because that thing's going to fall off the edge. And down there, when you stop the Brain of Mensis, the Brain of Mensis falls down there, so you can get there if you want to get the string, the living string I think it's called, so you can get access to the last chalice. So, and it's also how you can get a pretty nice rune if you have the make contact stance, or gesture as it's called. I never use the lead elixirs as if say picking one up, because they don't up your defense in any way, they just up your poise, which for anyone who doesn't know, poise is just how much you have to get hit before you stagger from said hit. And it just ridiculously heightens your poise, so you can just take hits without it, but it doesn't up your defense in any way, so you're just taking hits until you die. Is this the run where I have the done death, or is this not? There was a run where I got all the way up, and I jumped for a secret and missed the jump and died. And I don't know if it's this recording or if it was a test run. I'm sort of hoping it's this recording just so I can show you how stupid I end up dying to it. Because it's in that cage there, that floating cage there. I tried and jump for it to get the loot in it. Yeah, it is this run. Look, and just dead. So what bollocks. So like, I come back and I just have to sort of roll in cautiously instead. I'm happy it was actually the recording one because that was a funny death. Just get all that way and then just dun, there I'm gone. Here's the shortcut down to the lantern moves at. And I think I go to it just because I want to bank in my blood echoes. Yeah, I'm gonna go level up. There's a friendly warning, if you don't mind lowering your insight, I actually recommend it because it will make the already kind of easy fight even easier with Micolash, because he will only use the mirror, because he jumps from mirror to mirror sometimes, it's like a teleporting thing, but he will only use it if your insight is high enough. If your insight isn't high enough, he won't use it, so you can sort of bullshit him. There's a lot of attacks he can't do if your insight's high. You can really bastardize him if your insight's low, because you just can't do anything. But if I've never fought him with 99 insight to see how much of a difference it is when like your insight's at the fullest so he can be at his fullest. But I doubt it's much different. But then saying that, if your insight's high enough that he can do the star explosion, the cool beyond attack, be careful, because it only takes one of them to kill you. And I've learned that the hard way for experience. It only takes one good hit from the cool beyond to kill you, like just flat out. It's an unfairly brutal attack, but you just got to put up with it, unfortunately. You can dodge through it. It's just kind of hard because it is a star explosion. It's just loads of them just explode everywhere. I think I'm going to send the lift back down in case that actually happens with Micolash, because although Micolash is a boring fight, I'm not going to take from it that he can kill you. It's unlikely, and I'm hopeful that in your runs, if you, for the one of you that I might have encouraged to pick up this game, that you're cautious about it. You don't just jump in thinking it's going to be an easy fight, because yeah, he is easy, but he does have that one attack that can catch you. And during this, he is going to talk a lot about Cos. And Cos is, well, we'll get to Cos in the DLC, because Cos has a lot more significance in the DLC. This is just sort of your hint towards Cos.
No one can catch us. No one can stop us now.
And to be fair, this is only like the first proper time I'd seen the cutscene, because I listened to his first couple of lines and I usually skip it because he's annoying. But I decided to listen to it just for the sake of the recording. I decided not to skip any of the cutscenes unless they were really, like, not important. Or anyway, Micolash. This is Chase the Coward, the fight. This is you got a section where you're chasing him. He'll eventually get himself stuck in a room. When he's stuck in a room, you wail on him until he teleports away. You chase him again. You fight him again. And then the second time you fight him, right near the end of the fight, is when you can start using Call Beyond to catch you on that. Also, if you catch him during his running away, he will teleport, but you can actually flat out kill him during the runaway part. I've done it before. I really wish I'd catch him this, but you can just catch him, lure him into a corner, get him stuck on between objects and just wail on him until he dies, and you'll never have to deal with these room fights. It's brilliant. I've done it before. And yeah, the blood echoes there. Oddly enough, I was really confused when the blood echoes appeared there because I didn't die there. I died to the Call Beyond phase. I was really confused why they got it. I did die to the Call Beyond because it just catches you. And oddly enough, if he parries you like that with the tentacle arm, he will never capitalize on it. And if he does, he's never done it for me. So don't worry about him capitalizing on a visceral if he catches you on that. Just sort of sit there until you get back up on your feet and then move. If anything, the weird puppets things that are around are a bigger threat than him. That's the first phase dead.
Oh, majestic!
The best thing I ever saw was a speed run that got the guy to just barely before he did the death thing, caught him in the visceral, and then capitalized on it and jumped on him to get a near infinite loop, and managed to keep it up to a point where Micolash was borderline dead, but their health was on the L of his name. I've gone down here just to quickly get the blood chunk, so I don't go all the way down because I didn't feel the need. There is a rune down there if you decide to go down there, but I just didn't feel the need of going down and getting it, so I just move on. There's also some blood vials there if you want them. If for some reason you're struggling enough in this fight that you need more than the 20 blood vials you can start with. And now he's going to mock you about what you did with Rom. This is one of the ways you can loop him and trap him. Because if you make him start running towards the window, not the window, the mirror behind me, to try and teleport through it, you can get him stuck and wedged and you can just wail on him until death. But unfortunately I didn't manage to get him to do it this time. He just made a beeline straight into that room. If he does go into that room, you need to find a way in there, which isn't too hard. Just head up to the highest point you can, and then there's a side room. Micolash's theme's quite nice, I'll give him that. I like his battle theme, just the fight is boring. I don't have much to say. The strategy is just keep on him, keep chasing him and wail on him. And I'm skipping the dialogue because I want to pick up the item. And unfortunately to pick up items is the same item as to skip dialogue. They're both linked to X. I try and get the slam, but he moves and tries to do Call Beyond again, and thankfully doesn't catch me with it. I would have been pissed if he caught me with that because I don't really like doing this fight any more than once per run. Somehow he doesn't catch me again. That should have been a death. Also, he'll also use the Cos Fist, which is just literally just him trying to punch you. And it's shit. He can't do shit to you. And it's also great with speedrunning techniques if you can kill him before he gets in this room, because now you don't have to wait for the cutscene to kick in before that door will open. But you also get the Mensis cage, which is a head accessory, which is shit. Also, now you can explore the arena now and use that as an excuse to pick up some loot, because there is a key which, once you drop the brain of Mensis, makes getting the blood rock a lot easier. But I choose not to do it because I wasn't actually aware of it before then. I just go the long way to try and get the blood rock, which results in, well, the next video. I have a bit of a horror story for how many times I died in the next video. But we'll get to that shitstorm when we get to it. Because we've dealt with Micolash, the gates are going to open, and we can head up and head to the second half of the Nightmare of Mensis. I decided to split Nightmare of Mensis in half because I didn't know how long doing the whole of Nightmare of Mensis would be, because I know it's the biggest dungeon in the game, or biggest area if you want to go with that. But yeah, I quickly run down here to grab the key, the iron door key, and there's literally a door to your left the moment you enter Micolash's arena, and you can open that. And so if you've dealt with the brain of Mensis, which I will be doing next part, you don't have to go the long way around. You can just go there to get your blood rock so you can upgrade your weapon to level 10. And to be fair, it is kind of good, it's a shorter video. because I'm sweating like a pig right now in this heat, and I don't know in the commentary that it's tiring me a little more than usual, but I'll manage. Besides, we've got a lot more blood echoes now, so we can go level up. Here's the lantern at the end of the fight, and just up there is where we go into what the game considers Murgo's loft, but it's still Nightmare of Mensis really. So yeah, I'm going to use the extra King Cold blood I found during it, and I'm going to level up a bit more, see.
Very well, then.
Yeah, I'm a high enough level to fight the final boss. Just putting it out there, I'm flat out a high enough level to fight the final boss. And win.
Well,
The only reason I'm leveling up now is to manage the expansion when we get to it. When we get to go to Old Hunters, because that's hard. There's a level gap between the final boss and the Old Hunters, and it's very noticeable, and you will get your ass kicked otherwise. But that's for later. Next time on Bloodborne, we go for the Blood Rock and take out Murgo's Wet Nurse at the end of Nightmare of Mensis. But until then, you take care now.